Hi everybody, welcome to 5 Minute Ministries. Now, there was a song called The Cat's in the Cradle, and the whole idea of the song was this man had a son, and his son would say, "Dad, let's play, let's spend time together." And the father says, "I don't have time today, we'll do it another time." And the whole time the son is looking at his father going, "I'm going to be just like him." Well, as the song progresses, the son gets older, and suddenly it's the son who does not have time for the father. The father says, "Hey son, let's spend some time together." And the son says, "Well, sorry Dad, I'm just too busy right now." And the father reflects and said, "He growed up just like me." Now, this is an important lesson for all parents because, let's face it, the children are going to become what we are. Now, there's a span of life where we all go through it between the ages of 13 and 25, where we try to figure out who we are. And most of the time, we become just like our parents. Not in every last aspect, of course, but we pick up character traits, we pick up attitudes, philosophies, certain personalities, certain mannerisms that only come from the parents. And I know I see it in my children. And others see it in my children. They say, "He's just like you when he does that. She's just like her mother when she does that." So our influence is very prominent and also very important. The idea here being, whatever you want your children to become, that is what you need to be. Now, it doesn't mean like success or material things or whatnot, but how do you want your children to be? What do you want your children to be like when they grow up? You need to model the behavior you want them to emulate. Because as they get older, they're going to pick up more and more of your traits. Now, between that age span I mentioned, there's going to be some rebellion, so to speak. They're going to try their best to not be like you. But ultimately, they will become what you are. So it's very important to pay attention to yourself. If you don't want your children to lie, you don't lie. You don't want your children to be and sleep around with multiple people, don't you do it. If you want to be faithful to want them to be faithful to their spouse, be faithful to the spouse. If you want them and to do anything, you need to show them how it's done, because they're not going to learn it anywhere else, at least not properly. The world is more than willing to teach them things that you don't want them to learn, because if they don't learn it from you, they will learn it from somewhere else. And especially in spiritual matters, if you want them to be faithful followers of Jesus Christ, you too need to be a faithful follower of Jesus Christ. Because most likely, if you aren't, they won't be either. Now, that's certainly choices they have to make, and they are responsible for their own choices. But you have to set the example, and it has to start from a very early age. You'll see a lot of times children imitating their parents, and we think, "Oh, how cute." But there are some things that you don't want them imitating, and there are some things you shouldn't be doing for them to imitate in the first place. So go through and ask yourself, where do I need to improve? What do I want my children to learn? How do I want my children to behave? How do I want my children to respond? And certainly, you want them to have the biblical principles, but you have to model the behavior as well. This has been 5 Minute Ministries, and I'll see you next time.